Imagine surviving not one, not two, but 7 major ship accidents in your lifetime. For most of us, even one close call at sea is a terrifying thought. But Violet Jessop faced that terror again and again and lived to tell the tale. Her story is so incredible, it sounds like something straight out of a Hollywood movie, yet it's completely true. This is the story of the woman they called the Unsinkable Stewardess. Violet Constance Jessop was born in 1887 in Argentina to Irish immigrant parents. From a very young age, she was no stranger to survival. As a child, she contracted tuberculosis and was given only a few months to live by doctors. She defied their predictions, making a full recovery. This early battle seemed to foreshadow a life defined by resilience. After her father's death, the family moved to England, and to support them, Violet decided to follow in her mother's footsteps and work at sea. At the age of 21, she began her career as a stewardess for the Royal Mail Line. It wasn't easy at first. Shipping companies were hesitant to hire a young, attractive woman like Violet, fearing it would cause distractions among the crew and passengers, but Violet was determined. She made herself appear more plain during interviews, wearing older clothes and no makeup just to get a chance to prove her worth. Her persistence paid off, and she soon secured a position, embarking on a career that would place her at the center of some of history's most famous maritime disasters. In 1910, Violet began working for the White Star Line, one of the most prestigious shipping companies of the era. Her first major assignment was aboard the magnificent RMS Olympic, the largest civilian liner in the world at the time. The Olympic was the lead ship of a new class of superliners, promising unprecedented luxury and safety. But on September 20, 1911, just 5 voyages into its career, disaster struck. As the Olympic was leaving Southampton, it collided with a British warship, the HMS Hawke. The Hawke's bow, designed to ram and sink other ships, tore 2 large holes in the Olympic's hull. The impact was severe, flooding 2 of its watertight compartments and damaging a propeller shaft. While the Olympic was badly wounded, its design held, and it managed to limp back to port without any fatalities. For Violet, it was her first taste of a major maritime incident. She was shaken, but she survived. This harrowing experience would have been enough to make anyone reconsider a life at sea, but not Violet. Just a few months later, she was offered a position on the Olympic's brand new sister ship, a vessel said to be even grander and safer. Its name was the RMS Titanic. Initially, Violet was hesitant. She loved her post on the Olympic and was comfortable there. But her friends convinced her that serving on the maiden voyage of the Titanic would be a wonderful experience. Reluctantly, she agreed. On April 10, 1912, she boarded the Unsinkable ship at Southampton, ready for its historic journey to New York. For 4 days, the voyage was everything it was promised to be. But on the cold, clear night of April 14th, the unthinkable happened. The Titanic struck an iceberg. Violet was in her bunk when she felt the collision. In her memoirs, she described it as a long, grinding scrape. She and her fellow stewardesses were ordered up to the deck. As a trained employee, her duty was to help the non-English-speaking passengers understand the instructions and guide them to the lifeboats. She remained calm, a pillar of strength amidst the growing panic. As she worked, an officer ordered her into Lifeboat 16 to set an example for other women who were hesitant to leave the perceived safety of the massive ship. Just as the lifeboat was being lowered, one of the ship's officers handed her a baby, telling her to look after it. For hours, she clutched the infant in the freezing cold, watching in horror as the great ship disappeared beneath the waves. After a terrifying night adrift in the Atlantic, she and the other survivors were rescued by the RMS Carpathia. Once aboard the rescue ship, a woman, presumably the baby's mother, rushed up, grabbed the child from her arms, and ran off without a word. Violet had survived the most infamous maritime disaster in history. You would think that surviving the Olympic collision and the sinking of the Titanic would be more than enough to drive anyone away from the sea forever. But Violet Jessop was not just anyone. The outbreak of World War I saw her continuing her service, this time as a nurse with the British Red Cross. And where did she serve? Aboard another one of the Titanic's sister ships, the HMHS Britannic, which had been converted into a hospital ship. On the morning of November 21, 1916, while sailing in the Aegean Sea, the Britannic was rocked by a massive explosion. It had struck an underwater mine. The damage was catastrophic. Despite being larger and having a more advanced design than the Titanic sank in just 55 minutes. Chaos erupted as the ship went down. Violet managed to get into a lifeboat, but the ship's still spinning propellers began sucking the lifeboats towards them. She and others were forced to jump into the water to escape being pulled into the blades. As she jumped, she struck her head on the ship's keel, suffering a traumatic head injury, but her thick auburn hair cushioned the blow enough to save her life. She was pulled from the water, injured but alive. Years later, she would suffer from severe headaches and only then discovered she had sustained a skull fracture during her escape. She had now survived the sinking of two of the world's largest ships. Violet's astonishing streak of survival didn't end there. Throughout her 42-year career, she was involved in a total of 7 significant incidents at sea, including other collisions and near misses. She even survived a torpedo attack during the war. Each time, against all odds, she walked away. It's no wonder she earned the nickname Miss Unsinkable. She seemed to possess an almost supernatural ability to stare death in the face and live to tell the tale. After the war, she went back to working on passenger liners, even doing 2 around-the-world cruises on the Belgenland. She eventually retired from the sea in 1950 and settled in a cottage in Suffolk, England. There she filled her home with memories of her life at sea and spent her time raising chickens and gardening. She lived a long and peaceful life, passing away in 1971 at the age of 83. Her memoirs, titled Titanic Survivor, were published posthumously, offering a quiet, composed, and incredibly humble account of her extraordinary experiences. She never portrayed herself as a hero. To her, she was simply a working woman doing her job, a job she happened to love. Despite the immense dangers it presented, she never let fear dictate her life. Instead, she met every challenge with a remarkable sense of calm and duty. The story of Violet Jessop is a powerful testament to human resilience. While the grand tragedies of the Titanic and Britannic are etched into our collective memory, it's the personal stories of survival, courage, and quiet strength that truly bring history to life. Violet's life is proof that sometimes the truth is far more astonishing than fiction. She was an unsung hero who defied the odds time and time again, reminding us all of the unbreakable power of the human spirit. Thanks for watching. If you found Violet's story as incredible as we do, please like and share this video. And for more amazing true stories you won't find in your history books, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.